Hello, my name is Max. Today let me guide you how to set up the PLC equipment. So now you can see on the screen, it is our network topology. I think the first one that we will let you know how to set up our DN here, and also we will make it up as the POP mode. After that, we will set up the CN part. Today we show you how to set up the forward CN. After the setting the CN, then we will also get the CN, including like the MAC address, the configurations, also setting the connection between the DN and the CN. And after that, we're setting the routing function and protocol. Then after that, you can do the iPerf. You can check the performance test. So let us start to power on the DN and the CN at the same time. Then we can get into the DN web GUI to do the more configuration. Okay, in the first place, I think you can power on for the DN, and you just connect to the power cord to the AC power source, and connect to the port with the the wording to the laptop with the Ethernet cable. Then you can connect the out port to the manual port of the DN with another Ethernet cable. The next one is how to power up on the MLTG CN. I think it's still following the same thing, and because we do not have the connector here, but you can follow how to set up the installation guide. You can check the instructions. Make sure the LED can be powered on. That means the CN just ready for the configurations. Okay, now let's go to the DN, the web GUI. The first one is to modify the IP setting of the laptop. Then open the browser and type the address in the address bar. Okay, now still go on for the login page. Use the default credential to log in. Okay, now we get into the how to configure the DN as the POP node. So you can click on the operation node so you can show this screen what's the configuration here, and then make sure the first one, make sure the operation node it is the telegraph mode. GPS sync check it is off. Set as the POP node is on. IPv4 support on control plane is off. Web GUI access through control interface it is on. Minimum option is the local controller. Telegraph LAN prefix length it is the 56. Control interface is LAN 1. Control VLAN ID it is 0. For the BGP it is off. You can click on the Generate button for using dummy IPv6 setting to generate IPv6 address. Okay, so after filling up the old fields, click the Save button. You apply the configurations. Okay, now the DN will be rebooted after likely several minutes. It will be applied a new configuration. Okay, now let us do the how to configure the uplink port of the MLTG, the DN. The first one, you need to plug the 10G copper SAP Plus transceiver into the SAP Plus port of the DN. Then use an Ethernet cable to connect the SAP Plus transceiver with the 10G NIC card installed on PC1. From the mainframe laptop, you can use the SSH to access the DN via the mainframe port. The IP address is 192.168.1.20. The login credential is like the username is root, password is admin123. Then you can configure the IP address of the SAP Plus interface with the command. In order to save your time, you can copy the command line from our instruction. Then check the IP address is configured correctly with the command. Then you can modify the IP setting of PC. You can see the IP address, the subnet mask default gateway setting. Then on PC1, you can pin the IP address of the SAP Plus interface to make sure the configuration is correct. Okay, for the 7.6, let us to check the topology again. Now we are going to access the web GUI of the list for the CN. Okay, so you need to connect the LAN port of the CN to the laptop. Then you need to modify the IP settings of the laptop, IP address, and the subnet, the mask. Then you need to open the browser and type the address. After the login page is shown, use the default credential, admin and admin. Okay, now it is the 7.7, how to configure the LAN side of the CN. First one, need to click on the network interface icon on the left side menu. Here you will see the network interface. Then modify the LAN setting for the CN1 to CN4 according to the table. Then you need to save. Then modify the IP setting of laptop 1 to the laptop 4 according to the table. Okay, then you need to convert the link port of the CN to corresponding the data. For example, the CN1 connects to the data 1. On the data, ping the LAN IP address of the corresponding CN to make sure the IP settings are correct. For example, like the MB, the data 1 to ping the 192.168.10.1. Then for the 7.8, we need to set the radio MAC address of the CN. Now get to the web GUI to each CN via the corresponding the data, the access CN1 from data 1 with IP address 192.168.10.1. Then we need to check the status, the overview of the left side menu. Then you will see the whole screen. Then to do the radio MAC address of the CN. Yes. Then let's get for the 7.9, how to create the links between the MLTG, the DN, and the CN part. So we will let you know how to do the links, communication between the DN and the CN here. Then you need to get to the web GUI DN via the management port. Then you need to click the topology node setting button on the left side menu. Then you need to click add button. Then change the type field to CN and fill in CN1 radio MAC address in the radio A field. Yep, so you need to repeat the previous step to add the CN2, CN3, and the CN4. The last one is that you need to click the save and wait until the applying settings. So the indication will disappear. Okay, now the update is done. Then you need to click the topology link setting button of the left side menu. Click the add button at the upper right corner. For node 1, select the POP and the radio A. For node 2, select CN1 and the radio A. For channel, select 2. Then you can click save and wait until the applying setting. Yeah, so now it's update done. Repeat the steps and you can add more links POP CN2, POP CN3, and the POP-CN4 according to the table. Then you can save. Yeah, next one you need to click Dashboard of the left side menu. Then click the topology to check the status of the links. Okay, for the 7.10, it is need to use the SSH to do the setting to set up the DM radio IP address and the routing rules. Then you can use the commands to add the radio IP address and the routing rules. So you can copy our instructions to save your time and reduce any human error. Then check the routing rules are configured correctly one by one with the commands. Then you can do the same thing, copy instructions. The screenshot below shows the output result of the routing rule from the CN1 to CN4. Set up the CN radio IP address and the routing rules. So still need to access the SSH of each CN via corresponding laptop. For example, you can access from CN1 and the laptop 1 with IP address 192.168.10.1. The login credential of the SSH is as like the username root, password, admin123. For each CN, use the commands in the table to set the IP address and the routing rules. Yeah, you also can copy that. Then for each CN, use the commands to check the IP address and the routing rules are set correctly. Yeah, the screenshot will show example output for the CN2. Okay, it is the last step. It's a 7.12 performance test with iPerf. The first one, you need to run the iPerf server for 4 data streams on PC1 with the command. I think we also will show you one diagram to let you know more what's the traffic flow to the like a DNC and the PC. On each laptop, run the command as our instructions for uplink the test. Yeah, you also can copy the command. Okay, yeah, it is just last step. So we finished the whole configuration part for the POC purpose. Thanks for your attention. Have a nice day.